PayPal, the startup that created Billionaires. If you're anything like me, you've probably sent a few bucks here and there using PayPal. But have you ever wondered who founded PayPal and what they're up to these days? It turns out that one of them, Peter Thiel, is a billionaire today. In fact, he's one of only 18 people under 50 who has broken the billion-dollar mark. Here is how he did it in the stories of some of the other PayPal co-founders you may not have heard about. We start our story with Peter Thiel. Peter was born in 1961 to a single mother in New York City. His father left when he was very young, and he was raised by his mom and his grandparents. From an early age, Peter showed signs of being highly intelligent. He learned to read at the age of 4 and wrote programs for his father's computer at the age of 11. Peter at Stanford University, but dropped out before graduating to focus on his software company. At this time, the internet was beginning to take off, especially after the launch of Amazon. Peter saw this as an opportunity to build a business based around online payments, something that would make commerce on the internet possible. Peter started his company called XCOM in 1998. Their goal was to allow people to send money to each other through their bank accounts via the internet. Around the same time, another company called Confinity was started by Max Levchin, Luckman Ottawa, Ken Howery, and Peter Thiel. Confinity allowed users to pay each other back for things like dinner bills. The problem was that both companies had similar ideas and were competing against each other. So they decided to join forces. And as they say, the rest is history. This merger created an online payment platform that allowed anyone with an internet connection to send and receive money from anyone else in the world. This made Peter and his team quite rich, but also sparked a huge rivalry between Elon and his now ex-friend Peter Thiel. Elon and Peter used to be best friends since college, but their relationship turned south when Elon was kicked out of the board of his own company, leaving him bitter. Elon was so angry that he even mocked Peter's appearance. We all know that Elon is no longer talking to Peter, and it is likely that he doesn't even think about him at all. In contrast, Peter Thiel didn't let Elon's comments get to him. After all, his net worth is now more than double Elon Musk. Peter Thiel's net worth is currently estimated to be $25.3 billion as of January 2023, making him the 16th richest person in the world, according to Forbes' real-time billionaire list. But Peter Thiel is not the only PayPal co-founder that's a billionaire. Let's look at some of the other billionaires that came from PayPal. No to Luke. No. When Peter Thiel started looking for investors for his company X.com, he met an investment banker named Luke Nosek. Luke loved Peter's idea and invested $100,000 into the company. Just 2 years later, after the merger with Confinity, Luke owned 6% of the company. When PayPal went public, this made him a multi-billionaire overnight. However, he sold most of his shares in 2006 to start his own hedge fund. Since then, he's been mostly out of the public eye. Unlike Peter Thiel, Luke has kept a low profile since leaving PayPal. He doesn't have a social media presence, and there are very few interviews with him available online. Number 3, Ken Howery. Ken Howery is another one of the PayPal co-founders who became a billionaire. Ken was actually one of the first employees at PayPal and helped develop the company's early products. He also served as the company's chief operating officer until 2004. At its peak, Ken owned 1.5% of PayPal, which translated to $300 million. Today, Ken lives a quiet life in Florida, and he's known for being a very private person. He keeps a low profile, and there's not much information about him online. No. Elon Musk. You can't talk about PayPal without mentioning Elon Musk. Despite the bad blood between him and Peter, Elon still owns 11% of PayPal, which is worth over $2 billion. In addition to this, he also received 20 million stock options when PayPal merged with Tesla in 2004. Although Elon never cashed in these options, they're now worth over $50 billion. Unfortunately, we do not know exactly how much money Elon has made from his PayPal shares, because he has yet to disclose this information publicly. But we do know that his stake alone is worth over $50 billion, which makes it one of the biggest sources of wealth. In fact, Elon would not be one of the richest people in the world if it wasn't for PayPal. And last but certainly not least, we have Max. Out of all of the PayPal co-founders, Max Levchin is the one who stayed with the company the longest. He joined the company in 1999 and helped to develop some of its earliest products. Max stayed with PayPal all the way until 2015. During his time with PayPal, Max rose to become the company's chief technical officer. According to reports, when PayPal went public, Max owned 2% of the company. This means that his shares were worth around $170 million. If he still held on to those shares, they would be worth close to $500 million today. But Max doesn't hold on to his PayPal share. Instead, he reinvests his money into new startups, including one called Affirm. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly how much money he has invested in new startups. But given that he's one of the original founders of PayPal, it's safe to assume that he's doing pretty well for himself. All in all, PayPal has created a total of 5 billionaires. And despite any bad blood that might exist between some of them, they should all be happy knowing that they created a company that made billions of people happy. Now, PayPal is not the only tech company that has created multiple billionaires. Let's look at some of the other companies that have done this. Oracle. Oracle was founded by Larry Ellison in 1977. The company went public in 1986 and made several billionaires, including Larry Ellison, who's currently worth $137 billion. Other Oracle billionaires include Bob Miner, Tom Ryan, Jeff Henley, Edward Oates, Charles Phillips, Mark Hurd, Safra Catz, and many more. Cisco Systems. Cisco Systems was founded by Leonard Bosack and Sandy Lerner in 1984. The company went public in 1990 and made several billionaires, including Leonard Bosack, who's currently worth $2.6 billion. Other Cisco billionaires include Sandy Lerner, John Morgridge, Mike Cap, and Dennis Nolan. Intel. Intel was founded by Gordon Moore and Robert Noyce in 1968. The company went public in 1971 and made several billionaires, including Gordon Moore, who's currently worth $7.5 billion. Other Intel billionaires include Robert Noyce, Paulo Tellini, and Craig Barrett. Microsoft. Microsoft was founded by Bill Gates and Paul Allen in 1975. The company went public in 1986 and made several billionaires, including Bill Gates, who's currently worth $139 billion. Other Microsoft billionaires include Paul Allen, Steve Ballmer, and Satya Nadella. Apple was founded by Steve Jobs, and Ronald Wayne in 1976. The company went public in 1980 and made several billionaires, including Steve Jobs, who's currently worth $314 billion. Other Apple billionaires include Steve Wozniak, Tim Cook, and Ronald Wayne. Alphabet. Alphabet was founded by Larry Page and Sergey Brin in 1998. The company went public in 2004 and made several billionaires, including Larry Page, who's currently worth $130 billion. Other Alphabet billionaires include Sergey Brin, Eric Schmidt, and Ruth Porat. Amazon. Amazon was founded by Jeff Bezos in 1994. The company went public in 1997 and made several billionaires, including Jeff Bezos, who's currently worth $137 billion. Other Amazon billionaires include Andy Jassy, Mackenzie Scott, and Jeff Wilk. Meta was founded by Mark Zuckerberg in 2004. The company went public in 2012 and made several billionaires, including Mark Zuckerberg, who's currently worth $69 billion. Other Meta billionaires include Eduardo Andrew McCollum, Sheryl Sandberg, and Scott Seratops. Tesla was founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning in 2003. The company went public in 2010 and made several billionaires, including Elon Musk, who's currently worth $208 billion. Other Tesla billionaires include J.B. Strobel, Antonio Gracias, and Irving. And lastly, we have Salesforce. Salesforce was founded by Mark Benioff in 1999. The company went public in 2004 and made several billionaires, including Mark Benioff, who's currently worth $10.4 billion. Other Salesforce billionaires include Parker Harris, Keith Block, and Mark Hawkins. So those are just a few of the tech companies that have created multiple billionaires. Do you know of any others? If so, please share them with us in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the video.